What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Friday night. Usually, I know you're looking at me going, Matty G, what the hell? You usually do Suplex City Chats on Thursday. Well, guess what? News for WrestleMania has always been changing, so I figured we'd wait till Friday night, the night before. I thought I'd never hear that in my life. We are the night before night one of WrestleMania. Wait a minute, did WWE become New Japan? No, because we all know that some of these matches are going to choke. But that's okay. I'm not the only one here to talk about it. To my right, he calls himself The Rock's #1 fan. I think his daughter, The Rock's daughters, may have other words for him. He is Chris Day. Chris, what's up, homie?
Not much, man. WrestleMania is this weekend. I'm iffy on it. I'm a huge wrestling fan, so to be here, obviously, I grew up with my grandfather being a wrestler, so I watch WrestleMania, but this year it just feels different. We'll get into it, but I'm excited to talk some wrestling.
You know what, though? That's okay because at least they put out WrestleMania. I mean, you got to think about it like this: the only professional sports going on right now are sports entertainment. So we'll leave that alone. Another member of the Titan Trivia League. As a matter of fact, my Titan Trivia League partner is here tonight. That would be the comic book lad, Grant, homie. How was tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow is just the same as yesterday was, but maybe the next day will be better. And I'm looking forward to WrestleMania. It's free for me for the first time ever, so it's like, all right, cool. I might actually legitimately watch it instead of illegal streaming it. But I think they should probably rename. They probably should rename it the Choker because with 2 days and 16 plus hours worth of content, I think we're going to be the ones that are going to be put to sleep.
Well, there you go. Ashley says she likes my frog. Well, I do too. It's actually not a frog. It's a panda. It's a panda. But anyways, speaking of Titan Trivia, we have the Titan Trivia World Heavyweight Champion with us. You may know him as Mr. Payne, but we all here at TMG know him as the Carmel Mountain. What's up, Mr. Payne?
Hey, what's happening, Matt? I'm actually glad to be doing this. Yeah, with WrestleMania, it's gonna be pretty iffy. I started a tradition around WrestleMania 34 to actually live watch this in I watched WrestleMania 34 like at a barbecue /bar. So I was enjoying it with a huge crowd of wrestling fans. And then it carried on to 35 where I was in a bar and I was with so many wrestling fans losing their crap seeing Kofi Kingston and Becky Lynch win the titles. So it feels disappointing. It's not going to happen again this year.
Well, that's okay.
Even though the looks like crap.
The bar is always open at my house. Oh, and we have Comic Book Baby. Ladies and gentlemen, you see it right here on Suplex City Chats. We have Comic Book Baby.
She's getting the comic book
left. All right, guys. Before we jump headfirst into WrestleMania, let's step into the other world of professional wrestling that's still going on, AEW. People have been clamoring for it. We've wanted a TV title. Or if you may not be old enough to know what that means, I mean, some people are. Obviously, she's sitting in Daddy's lap. You could call it an Intercontinental title or a U.S. title. In WCW, they called it a TV title, something that is, and yes, TMG is child friendly. You're goddamn right. Oh wait, did I say that out loud? But no, a TV title is something that usually is defended every week. If you follow the trivia leagues over at Combat Trivia, they have the workhorse title. Something to be defended every week by somebody in the lower card. AEW just released their TNT title. So named. We're not going to go through the whole thing. We'll just go through the first 4 matches and then we'll say who we think's going to win it. So first up, we got Shawn Spears versus Cody. This would be Shawn Spears and Cody number 2 because I
their last match was pretty much at All Out. Yeah.
Yeah, which was and I personally, I think the chairman's going to take it. I've got Shawn Spears with this one. Ryan, you're unmuted, so go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my pick's going to Shawn Spears as well. I mean, I would love to see Cody advance, but Cody has done a very good job in making himself look like fantastic in defeat. So I believe Shawn Spears is going to push this through. He's going to take the victory.
How about you, Chris? Who you got?
As much as I love Cody, I think he really doesn't really want this title to be it is right now. So I think Shawn Spears is going to take it. I think Shawn Spears has come a long way from being, what he was. And
10.
Exactly. I think he's doing really hot with AEW, and I think that he's going to make a name for himself really soon. So yeah, I got Shawn.
I think all the WWE wrestlers or talent that's jumped over has definitely done some major things in AEW. Myself, apparently, Comic Book Baby has Shawn Spears as well because we got the 10 from her. How about you, Dad? What are you thinking? Shawn Spears or Cody?
No one loses like Cody, but I think it's obvious that he's going to lose, so I'm going to pick him to win. Cody.
Wow, so it's 4-1 on this one. All right. This one to me, the next one in this is kind of just the way that the audience are seeing people. To me, it's basically a given, but we got Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin. So we'll go to Comic Book Daddy. Who you got first?
Who's that? Really? You think Darby? All right, Darby then. Fine. Why is that?
Because the coffin drop kicks ass, Dad.
Yeah. No reason, just Darby. Fair enough. All right, we'll go Darby then. Let's lock it in. Ready? Lock it in. Lock it in. There we go.
Locked in. All right. I guess I'll go next. I agree. Darby Allin is he's just so over with the crowd. I think there's only one more over person in AEW, and that's Orange Cassidy, but he's not competing. I mean, I think Orange Cassidy will have a title around his waist here sooner than later. But yeah, I agree. Darby Allin. Chris, who you got, buddy?
I'm not really sure on this one, but based on my gut, probably say Darby. I mean, I think Sammy will be down the line, and I mean they're kind of pushing with I forget the name. I had the name.
Inner Circle.
Yes. Yeah, the Inner Circle. There's so many freaking clubs. The Inner Circle, with Chris Jericho and now Jake Hager taking on Jon Moxley. I feel like Darby Allin's really going to hit hard in this tournament. So I'd say Darby Allin.
Okay. Ryan?
Wow, it's just I'm actually going to be the one against this. I do believe 55% this is Darby Allin, but Sammy Guevara, even though he's not looked to be the strongest member of the Inner Circle, but he is the most consistent of the Inner Circle when it comes with working. So I think he might get the victory in this one.
Either way, I think this is going to be a hell of a match because just the tag match with Shawn and Sammy and Cody and Darby. If that's any hint of what's going to happen, I can't wait. I think this one's going to be fireworks. The next one has me split. Who I think's going to win and who I would like to see win are two different ones, and that's Kip Sabian, Superbad, and Dustin Rhodes. In my heart, I'd like to see Dustin win, but Dustin has already come out and said that he's going to make a run with QT Marshall in the tag division, so I just see them putting him in. So I'm picking Kip Sabian to win. Ryan, who you pick?
Yeah, I'm going with Superbad himself, Kip Sabian. And this might come off a bit of slight bias as I recently went on the Chris Jericho Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea, and I got to see Kip Sabian, but he was the most consistent wrestler out of all the matches throughout the past 4 days. He wrestled in like six of them, including the intergender match. So I think this is like his time to shine. Like so far, because he and Penelope work great together as a heel duo. So I think this is another platform for them.
Okay. Comic book daddy. Who does comic book baby pick? The super
I
bad.
think it's going to be another one where this is split because I don't think that we'll win, but we got to go for him, don't we? Yeah, isn't that right?
So
Yeah.
I can agree to that one. How about you, Mr. Number One fan?
I'm going to shock you guys. I'm going to go with Dustin. I think he's going to make a deep run.
Ooh, okay. Like I said, in my heart, I'd love to see Dustin win because, like Chris and I were talking about off air, one of my matches of the year last year was Cody versus Dustin. And we all know if you grow up in the Attitude Era or even slightly before it, Dustin's a hell of a wrestler and he's a hell of a character.
He's never had a full advantage either, and
I don't like the character he's really got now because he really doesn't have one. He's kind of picking and choosing what he likes about Goldust and what he didn't. Now, this last one to me is kind of it's a given, but I'm going to ask anyways. It's Lance Archer and Colt Cabana. I think Lance Archer is going to knock Colt Cabana's head off. I don't care who goes first.
To be honest, I don't know if it's going to be that landslide. Yes, Lance Archer is meant to be a killer and a beast, but with this angle that they have with Jake the Snake wanting to, let's say, he's going after Cody, I don't think there's going to be no interference or anything that happen like that. But it wouldn't shock me if they booked to certain angles where Lance Archer gets overconfident and Colt Cabana takes the win from him.
That's interesting. Mr. Rocky. What do you think?
I got Archer. I mean, I'll say my pick for the end, but I just see Archer completely dominating half of this tournament. So I got Archer.
All right.
They're really hyping him up. So
yeah. So she must agree with you. That was a laugh at Lance Archer.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not an Archer fan, clearly. So
that's the first baby that bit at me. So
yeah. All right. So I guess we're going the opposite. They're not Archer then. Snake. Yeah. You happy with that one? Yep. All right. There we go.
She looked away. So I would take that as a no.
I think she wants Archer.
It's also not a yes, so she's in the middle.
She's like, I don't care.
Look, I got the same hair you do. I got no hair.
Yeah. So basically, all right. So we kind of got the idea. We'll revisit this, gentlemen, in a couple of weeks when they get down the line a little bit. I don't think Double or Nothing 2 is going to happen. So I think we'll see this on Dynamite one of these days. Maybe when they start easing up the rules a little bit, maybe they'll do it at Blood and Guts.
If I'm not mistaken, they're putting the title next week, aren't they?
No. The first round. I think it's Sean Spear 2 weeks from Wednesday.
Okay, so I was thinking about the Jake Hager John Moxley fight.
That's 2 weeks. No, that's 2 weeks as well. That's the 18th. The 13th or something like that. 18th. Oh no, that's right. It's the 18th. So I don't know. Like I said, we'll revisit this once matches start going. But my dream finals would be Darby Allin and Lance Archer. I think that could get violent. I think that could get brutal, and I would put the title on Darby Allin.
I have Lance Archer winning the entire tournament myself.
That would be interesting, but I see Lance Archer at the top of the card, not towards the middle. So I don't know. All right, guys. Like I said in the title, this is WrestleMania weekend. tomorrow is night one. There's a monster card to get through. I wrote down what I could find, and then when we get to the last one, there may be a possible spoiler for tonight's SmackDown or tomorrow or yesterday's, according to Grant. Yes, he is our resident time traveler, ladies and gentlemen. If you've never seen our show or tomorrow night's show, which I will plug here shortly. So we'll just run down the card. So first we got the women's tag titles. The Kabuki Warriors against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I think Bliss and Cross walk away with these titles again because I think Kyrie Sane. Oh, I guess there goes the comic book lat's phone.
We just lost our two big faces.
Okay. But if they jump in, we will bring them back in. Basically, I think Kyrie Sane's possibly on her way out the door anyways. They've been focusing on Asuka in singles, so I think they're going to put the title back on them. Haha! Yeah. Comic book Aladdin last. I love it. So we'll go back
to find the exit button. So
that's a smart girl right there.
The last says you can kiss my. The last, your little lass says you can kiss my lass. Oh, you see what I did there. All right, Grant. Kabuki Warriors or Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, who walked away with the titles.
Oh, Alexa, crossing that easy. It's pretty much easy to storyline then. Without a doubt.
Yep, I agree. Ryan, how do you feel?
Yeah, I think it's Alexa and Nikki as well. Not just because of the whole thing with Kyrie Sane, but at the same time, they have the host. Alexa and Nikki just have the stronger platform, with their, Alexa's talk show, Moment of Bliss. And to be honest, I'm liking Alexa Bliss. I think Alexa fits more in the story as a face than she ever was as a heel, because I'm feeling more naturally inclined to her as a face. So yeah. I do pick them winning.
And I like to go off that real quick. I like her and Nikki Cross. I was scared Nikki Cross was, when she got brought up, she was going to get lost in the card somewhere. But when they tied her to Alexa, I thought Alexa was going to turn on her a while ago.
I think a lot of people were thinking that too, but they did a good job of holding that down. Like Alexa, she's like, you think that she has some ulterior motives, but ultimately, no, she warms up, and guess what? She's actually being a friend, and she feels more natural. She's more natural like that as a face. I mean, she can still have that bite like she does as a heel, but as a face, she's more justified now with her responses.
Absolutely. Plus, and if they lose the titles down the road, then you can do the heel turn just like AEW's teasing with Kenny and Hangman Page. So, Dave, who do you think? Who's going to walk away with it?
I mean, it's easy. It's going to be Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. I mean, honestly, myself, I'm just kind of was overwhelmed with the tag team women's division this year with the Kabuki Warriors. I mean, it just got old. And it had maybe one good moment, in my opinion, and that was with Becky Lynch's rivalry with Asuka. Yeah, Asuka, whatever. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty much Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. Okay. This one I am. I know my opinion. I have been a fan of this storyline since the minute it happened. And come Valentine's Day, when he got his heart broken, I wanted to punch Dolph Ziggler in the mouth myself. We, of course, are talking about my big man, my boy Otis, and Dolph Ziggler. As you can tell, I think Otis is going to knock the living shit out of Dolph Ziggler. Day.
I'm doing my best Otis impression when he just puts his wide face. No, I love Otis. I mean, Otis is my boy. Wherever things were tough, it was Otis. I got Otis winning. He can do better than Mandy Rose, though. Go after Charlotte Flair to stalk her. That's what I say. No, I got Otis winning.
I disagree. I love that. Yes.
I do.
Mandy Rose is a 10 compared to Charlotte Flair.
Oh,
How about you, lad and lass? Otis or Ziggler?
Otis is the new punching bag, so I just want that to continue. And I mean, how can you go against Ziggler? I mean, the guy's got the prettiest hair in all professional sports entertainment. So we go with him, yeah. All right, yeah, we'll go with him.
Oh, okay. So we're now booting them from the. So that ends our tag team run in Titan. No, I'm just kidding. He may be the only. And Papa Westa also agrees with us. Otis, oh yeah, Ducky. Ryan, do you agree with us, or do you disagree, or do you agree with the lad and lass?
I'm kind of the one in the middle because I am all for Otis, but Vince put that whole thing with Dolph Ziggler in there for a reason, and it would not surprise me during their match. Mandy Rose shows up, causes a distraction on Otis, and Ziggler capitalizes by winning. So with the whole the fact that Vince McMahon in my head, I'm going Ziggler, but deep down, for God's sakes, let this be Otis.
I think this could be Otis's moment where it turns out that Sonya Deville and Ziggler have been behind the scenes pulling the strings, and Otis walks away with his girl on his shoulder.
Mania Trish Stratus heel turn angle with Mandy though, Mandy's gonna come out there and then all of a sudden she hits Otis and then Ziggler capitalizes, and guess what? We're back to heel Mandy again.
Or does it go the other way around? She comes out, realizes what's happened, and hits Ziggler. See, the storyline could go any way. Oh, and there they go again. Okay, guys.
You kicked them off just because they picked Ziggler? Come on, man.
I did not kick them off. They kicked themselves off. I bet the little lass found that button again. Okay.
Or his phone died.
That could be too. This one I wasn't going to put on here because there's been no build to it, but they still had it on the WWE website, so we're going to run with it. Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley. I think Bobby.
I think it's official. I saw on Raw they kind of showed it. So
I think Bobby Lashley's going to take a black mask to the face and he's going to lay down. So
yeah,
I've got blood.
No, it's just they've had Aleister Black built up as a strong fighter every Raw, and I've been wondering what they're going to do with him after that little conclusion with him and Buddy Murphy. So hopefully after WrestleMania we get to see Black in a push for a title.
And it's funny because I'm going to come back to that because I have a theory, but we'll come back to that.
Right.
Chris?
I got him. I got Aleister Black too. I think Aleister Black is gonna make a huge 2020 impact.
Okay, so it was easy. This one I'm not sure if I'm gonna say the way it's shown, and then I'm gonna give you a theory I have, not Aleister Black one, but a different theory. It's Elias and King Corbin. I don't think Elias is going to compete because he keeps sending those tweets that he's at a rehab facility because of getting almost murdered by Corbin. I think this is where Gronk steps in. I think Gronk steps in and we have Gronk versus Corbin. Either way, I think whoever takes on Corbin will win. I think Corbin's going to go on his back just like Kurt Angle did for him last year.
Skip.
I got Gronk. If it ends up being Elias and Corbin, let me just say, I just thought that fall was so awful. I hated that thing. I thought it was, for me, it was just that it was
bad. It was bad.
It was not. I like this King Corbin thing, and I do. I hate that guy to a passion. But for me, it was just it's just I don't know. I really could honestly care. But if my boy Gronk, because I'm a Patriots fan, if my boy Gronk comes in, I'll cheer for Gronk. So
yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I like the King Corbin character because I was listening to Brad Gilmore and Booker T when he won. Brad actually came out and said that, or not Brad, I'm sorry. Booker T came out. Yeah, Booker came out and said that they used the title of King to get him over. You know, they helped build a new character with it. And with Corbin, you know, we've had, you know, just the lone wolf. Then we've had, you know, the commissioner or whatever you want to call him of Corbin. General manager, there you go. And then now we've got King Corbin. And he makes a hell of a heel. Like he's really good on the mic. And he's
His thing
actually
with my cousin was really good for a while. With the doctor.
Okay.
Grant, you're good, brother. Next time we will absolutely have you back. All right, so either way, we really don't care. I mean, because that match really hasn't been made. I don't really care either way.
I mean, it's on the WrestleMania card thing. So I mean,
yeah, so it is happening.
Well, card subject to change. You never know. So, anyway,
just like I will be right back. So you guys keep.
Okay. So the next one to me is kind of a given, anyways. So, it's the Raw tag titles. It's Street Profits and Angel Garza and Austin Theory.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the Street Profits. They're the biggest tag team, one of them up right now. In my opinion, they're more bigger than The Miz and John Morrison. To me, Street Profits have made a huge impact lately.
Yeah, they kind of. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. They're not going to give up the titles. I think it's going to be a hard-hitting, fast-paced match, but I still, yeah, no question. We want the smoke, and we want more of them. Like I said, when Ryan stepped away, that's no big deal. It's funny you said Miz and Morrison because that kind of jumps us down to next week, or to our next one. It's a SmackDown Tag Title ladder match. Now, supposedly something was supposed to go down on SmackDown tonight.
I saw some of it. It was on the highlights when we were talking. Just kind of taking a glimpse, obviously, because it's on the TV. Yeah, they were kind of talking a little bit. So.
Well, The Miz showed up at the Performance Center, was sick, and got sent home before they could film this match. So we know it's going to be Morrison versus, I believe, one of the Usos in a ladder match for it. Personally, I don't think Miz and Morrison drop the titles this way. I think it's going to be a hard-hitting match. In my house, the Usos and the New Day are kings in my house.
I mean, the Usos are my cousins, so obviously I'm rooting for my cousins. I mean, I have a lot of cousins who are wrestlers. One's going to be in the SmackDown Women's Championship also, and the other, unfortunately, is not there. So, honestly, I'm rooting for my cousins. Like, I'm rooting, but I don't see them.
Yeah, I don't see Miz Morrison dropping it yet.
Love you. They're not watching. But.
You know what? They might. You never know. Now, this goes back to the theory I had earlier. It's Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental title.
Which I love. I think that's a terrific match.
I hope they let Sami Zayn wrestle and not keep pulling this. Well, you're going to do the work and I'm going to get the credit for it. But however, I see Daniel Bryan taking it.
Yeah, which is great.
Which is, it's a way to get the title on Daniel Bryan, and it still makes Braun Strowman look good when he drops.
I mean, look, here's the thing. Daniel Bryan, in my opinion, was the wrestler of the decade. I think it's safe to say. You know, I honestly would say also my cousin Roman Reigns, but, you know, Daniel Bryan to me was the wrestler of the decade.
The WWE wrestler of the decade, yes.
The WWE wrestler of the decade, yeah. For me, honestly, overall, I would say Chris Jericho. But
I would say you could make an argument for Jericho, Okada, or Kenny Omega. You could make an argument for.
No, I would put Daniel Bryan in that conversation too. But
of course,
WWE, Bryan, you know what you will say. 2014, in my opinion, is one of the best, like probably moving title runs.
Yeah,
Probably WrestleMania history. I mean,
yeah,
it's fantastic. Like it was incredible. I've been rewatching, from the Attitude Era and on, all of them during this time for the past 2 months, and it's by far the best thing probably around this decade. Honestly, I see Daniel Bryan winning, but I'm just getting tired of this Sami Zayn manager because I see Sami Zayn as a potential. I do. I think Sami Zayn from his NXT days to when he was on Raw, and wanting to face Strowman and wanting to prove to himself to Mick Foley, now it just feels like a joke. And for me, I'm getting tired of it. I like that Shinsuke, it's just, even when he does his appearance with Shinsuke, it's just like, get this fucking guy out of here. It's probably the beers talking, but it's like, get this fucking guy out of here. It's just like, it's getting frustrating for me to even see Sami Zayn. And we'll talk about Kevin Owens because I think Kevin Owens is fantastic right now.
But here's
I'm just getting tired of Sami Zayn, and I honestly am just, if he was off TV, I wouldn't care.
Okay, now here's my theory that I want to go back to. Brian picks up the title, and then we see a long-running program between him and Aleister Black.
Yeah. I see that. I see Aleister Black taking the Intercontinental title before, because I see Aleister Black making main event WrestleMania in the next couple of years. I do.
Yeah, very much. It's funny you brought KO up because that leads us into our next match. It's Kevin Owens.
I can say, one of my favorite guys is Seth Rollins. So I'm excited to talk about this Monday Night Messiah.
I actually I'm in my household, I'm the only one that actually likes this Monday Night Messiah persona.
I love it. I think it's fantastic.
I see, but in that same breath, I see Kevin Owens laying him out because it's already been reported that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch wants to go on a little bit of a vacation, take a break.
Honeymoon. They're getting married this summer, I think.
Yeah, so I think that he's going to go down. That leads us into the fatal 5-way for the SmackDown Women's title. Hold on, he's back. Okay, Ryan, real quick, Ms. Morrison or Uso for the tag titles?
Usos have had so many times. They had
my cousins, but come on, man, they're my cousins. I'm kidding.
They had an opportunity for Miz and Morrison to lose in Elimination Chamber, but they didn't jump on it, so Miz and Morrison's going to retain.
Okay, Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental.
Oof. I want to do Daniel Bryan because I'm loving that run he's going with Drew Gallagher right now. But I think Daniel Bryan, he's at the point where he knows he's smart enough that he knows he can survive not winning a belt. So I think Zayn is going to get this.
Okay. Now here's my going back to the theory I had earlier. I think Daniel Bryan picks it up, and I think him and Aleister Black will have a run.
Okay.
Oh no, they're on SmackDown.
No, there is a possibility of a draft. So I mean, Vince could do.
I think there will be a draft coming up really, really soon.
Draft for the superstar shakeup. So
yeah, so I would like to see that. Okay, Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins.
Owens, after that promo he just laid on Raw.
Yep.
Owens.
Yep, and I also lay on the fact that him and Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are going on a little bit of a vacay anyway. So yeah, I agree. Honeymoon, something like that. Okay, so now we're at the SmackDown Fatal 5-Way. So you're caught up.
I should say, I do want to say my pick, but I'm so close with one of the competitors that it's hard in ways, and that's Tamina because my uncle was Superfly Snuka, so it's hard to pick. So I'm going to let you guys go first because it's hard to pick, really, honestly. But I know who's going to win, in my opinion. It's going to be a surprise, but it's hard to pick when you have somebody who I'm very close with.
So we got Bayley, we got Lacey Evans, Sasha Banks, Naomi, and Tamina. I think that Lacey Evans picks up the title.
Wow.
Honestly, I think that because they've been building her up as this ultimate face. I mean, when she comes out, she gets the pop. We're not going to be able to see, Bayley and Sasha Banks team up on her like they have been. Mm-hmm. I think that Bailey will run the gauntlet. I think she'll be out first. I think Sasha Banks will be out fourth, and Lacey Evans will come out to finish. And she will come out. Her and Bailey will have a back and forth. She will hit her with the woman's right, and that will end it. That's just me, because she is
not a fatal 5 elimination.
It's an elimination.
Okay.
It is an elimination, and I just don't see Tamina making it that far, unfortunately. Even though they kind of really promoted her.
As much as I say Tamina probably starts, but that's just
well,
me.
they really heavily promoted her tonight too. Watching the highlights right now,
they're making Tamina look like a beast. They made her look like a beast last week. I'm pretty sure they're going to do again this week. This is just to let people know that Tamina is not going to be some walkover just because she's not on weekly on SmackDown. No, I think she's gonna do the heavy hitting in the elimination match. Maybe get one elimination in. I just don't think she's gonna be one of the final two.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this could be really hard knocking, and in my opinion, this could very easily be one of the matches in the night.
Yeah, I got my pick. If Ryan wanted to go first or me,
well, I mean, part of me wants to say Sasha, but to be honest, Sasha has been
Sasha.
Yeah, but Sasha hasn't taken a lot of time off. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets more time off again. So, to be honest, it falls between Lacey or Naomi for me.
I got Sasha winning because there's a lot of rumors going on that Bailey's going to take this face turn. In my opinion, if I was the story guys, I see
Bailey is getting better and better as a heel on the mic. I don't think they're going to take that away from her. I mean,
the rumor is that she might go face turn really, really soon, but I could see Sasha taking it. Really, I honestly do.
I'd like to see Sasha take a face turn. Keep Bailey as a heel right now because it really because when she came out and whacked the Bailey buddies, it just broke all little girls' hearts around the world.
You heard someone showing a video of how a little girl in the crowd reacting to Bailey just attacking those Bailey buddies.
My niece cried. My niece cried.
Wow.
She loved Bailey. Bailey's her favorite. So what was
so having her as a heel is good. Sorry, so I keep hitting everything, but I think so far her being a heel is a good way. And also, if the belt does go to Lacey or Naomi or another, or because they're only two faces on there, Carmella was taken out, so you're gonna need somebody still around for Lacey or Naomi to defend their belts. So Bailey,
you guys don't think Bailey's gonna retain?
I would love for Bailey to retain because when she defended a Raw Women's title at 33, she retained. The only time she never retained at WrestleMania was when Sasha and her were team champs. And at the same time, Bailey has always been doing this little angle to where she just did this thing on Twitter where Charlotte's being heavily postered and heavily marketed, but her on the other hand hasn't because I can't remember what she said, but she's like the actual, like her character, the role model. Like, I'm the actual role model. I'm the one who's actually down to earth with the fans before I started getting smart. And, Charlotte, on the other hand, she's all trying to be high and mighty above as a Flair. So it would make sense for Bailey to retain. That way her winning ceremony or her speech after WrestleMania could once again be her healing up to the crowd, healing up on promo.
It could be, and it's funny you brought Charlotte up because that is a perfect segue into our next one. It is the NXT Women's Championship. I'm gonna go last because I have yet another conspiracy theory. Maddie G, what are you doing? You're full of conspiracy theories tonight. Goddamn right I am. It's WrestleMania weekend. I'm excited. Ryan, does Rhea retain?
Rhea retains. That's it. I'm not a fan of Charlotte's booking this year and last year. I think Charlotte should have been getting John Cena treatment to where she gets one very bad season. John Cena was always seen as unstoppable. What made people like him again was in 2012 or 13, where he had one bad year. And then people started liking him again to where the boos were not as thunderous. There literally was back and forth between people cheering and booing him. and ever since Charlotte came up from NXT, I like the fact that Charlotte is being treated like a Flair. The problem is that her wrestling performances since WrestleMania 32 have not been getting better in my mind. There's been some slops, some spots and some weaknesses in her wrestling to where when she, like last year, this past, like I think TLC, when she and Becky went up against the Kabuki Warriors, and when you break down that footage, when you saw Kyrie get concussed, it was clear to Asuka and Becky that Kyrie was not fit to continue, or at least to keep pace, but Charlotte still just kept going out at Kylie. Like, it was obvious and then they were concussed.
Oh, yeah. And then you see that nasty powerbomb through the table. Yeah, yes. No.
Look, I have nothing against Charlotte. If WWE really do see her as someone to carry the women's division, that's great. Except you need to have her be humiliated, not like WWE style to where they got dogs food smear on the face or the face is into a cake. I need to the point to where she's losing consistently over and over and over again, no matter how many times she says she's a Flair. And I think 2020 should have been it, with her not winning the Royal Rumble. Hopefully she loses to Rhea, not by disqualification, sorry Jacob, but by Rhea actually pinning her. Then maybe we can start a different trajectory, a change in Charlotte's character to where she finally realized she's trying to be her own person and not live up to the legacy of her dad, or not bring Ric Flair back just so she can yell at him and get heat again. We need to get actually get Charlotte a character.
Well, and see, it's funny you said that, because I disagree. I think Charlotte's going to win this match, and she's going to go to NXT to be with Triple H, who knows how to book talent. And Rhea Ripley's going to come up, and she's going to be going to Raw, which will lead me into my segment later. Matty G coming with another theory.
Let's get the number one fan on who he thinks will win.
All right, so quick day. Rhea Ripley or Charlotte Flair?
You know, we talk about NXT, and I love how they did Finn Balor. I got Charlotte winning. I think that Charlotte will win. Man. I think she's going to make a run for NXT, and I really think that's smart. And me, that's perfect booking. You know, I somebody who learned the industry from my grandfather, who is very high in the Midwest of booking. He would go, "That's business, baby. That's the meal ticket." And I agree. I think it's going
that, guys. There's just one. Raw. Charlotte has been so synonymous as the top character on Raw and SmackDown.
But that's the point.
To be that she needs to go after the women's titles, because that's one title she hasn't won yet.
But that's the point. They're trying to. Oh, Comic Book Lad has rejoined us. But that leads back into my point, though, because they're trying to get NXT not as the supplemental brand, but as the third brand. And when you watch the ratings, when Charlotte's been on there, they go up. And NXT is still winning, or AEW is winning every week.
I don't think it's because of Charlotte that NXT's ratings go up. But she adds a factor to it, yes. I won't deny Charlotte's wrestling ability. I won't deny people saying that Charlotte elevates matches. But it was obvious to me since WrestleMania 34 33, honestly, that there is some weaknesses in her training, in her wrestling, that I think she needs more time. If she wasn't always put on every weekly television shows every week, I think she would have gotten more time in the Performance Center to get better. But, that's just me. That's just me. I mean, everyone else.
But that's the point. If she goes to NXT, that's in Orlando. It's in Orlando, where they film NXT, where the Performance Center is. Plus, that helps elevate NXT to equal SmackDown and Raw.
I think where she lives anyway is Orlando.
I think so. Grant, who do you got, Rhea Ripley or Charlotte Flair?
If I ever get the chance to root against Charlotte Flair, it wouldn't matter who it's against. I'm rooting against Charlotte Flair every single time.
Okay, then.
There's just, I mean, she could be versing Osama bin Laden, and I'd be going for him.
Okay. Okay. Wow. We had,
it could be him in his title white against a Broom, and the Broom will still give him a better match. If Charlotte Flair would have been against a Broom, I think that Broom has a 20-1 odds of beating Charlotte.
so it kind of leads us into the next one, the Raw Women's Championship between the champ Becky the Man Lynch and Shayna Baszler. That leads me into the next one. I think Shayna Baszler is going to take it, and her and Rhea Ripley will be going back and forth at Raw for it. So I have Shayna Baszler just laying Becky out. Like, she's going to lay out, and Becky is going to crawl into the hole like her and Seth Rollins want to. Comic book lad, what you thinking, homie?
Well, Shayna Baszler is one of these people she was a pioneer of women's mixed martial arts, and though she didn't have as a historic sort of career as she did pave the way for many of the female champions that are there now. I know what she's like outside of the ring, and the personality that she puts in there. It pushes me back so much as a character. I can't root for her because I think the man's got a better character, but they elevated the man a few years ago, and I think now that they're doing similar storylines, similar threads with Shayna. So I think she's going to take it, but there's going to be something funky about the match. I think, and I think it's going to have an immediate rematch.
Okay, Ryan.
Actually, I want Chris to go because I did a fancy booking on Ryder's Ring on after WrestleMania, and I kind of want to talk about that. So I'm gonna let Chris go.
Okay, Day.
I've learned a lot through MMA thanks to Grant here, who has gotten me a lot through MMA because I wasn't really huge on MMA besides Conor McGregor, and Grant really got me onto that. So thank you, Grant. Because my girlfriend says I'm addicted to it now. So, the weirdest thing about where we look at where we are was Ronda Rousey had her moment, Becky Lynch had her moment. And while I do think Becky Lynch is going to put a fight, I mean, I love what the man what she has done with the man. It is fantastic. It reminds me of a Stone Cold kind of thing. And it is easily the best thing about Raw right now, in my honest opinion, besides Drew McIntyre. I seriously see Shayna Baszler winning. But I do see Becky trying to give it everything she's got. And don't be surprised if you see a bloody-ass Becky, because I think it's going to be.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt that this is going to be a fight. But
it's going to be like a bloody bloodbath. I really think it will.
I don't think Vince McMahon would let the man bleed. That's a
let her have a broken nose and let her work through it.
Intentional, though. That one was unintentional, but actually having it happen. Yeah,
Charlotte Flair is our local bleeder, ladies and gentlemen. She's also more
local accidental wonder.
All right, Ryan.
We need to find a better term than bleeder.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Ryan. Whoop, that is not who's supposed to be up. All right, Mr. Carmel Mountain, you have the floor. Everybody's looking at you.
Well, look, it would make a lot of sense to have Shayna win because Becky has been the Raw Women's Champion since WrestleMania 35, and having her go past that would kind of overshadow or some people say overkill the man. But in an episode of Writer's Ring, when we talked about how we would fantasy book after WrestleMania, in my mind, I had booked Becky Lynch winning by pinfall, the way she beat Ronda Rousey. This way, we get Shayna to come back at a Raw and say, you got the upper hand on me, but you didn't beat me, because she goes back to Becky's track record. Every opponent outside of Ronda Rousey, you've had to have them tap to beat, have them submit to win. You've only pinned Ronda Rousey and myself, leaving storyline-wise possibly a submission match or an I Quit match between Becky and Shayna. Because I see the storyline possibility is much better there. And also, having Becky win at WrestleMania 36 would not only just be a good half for her story, so then when she does lose the title, I can see her having a Stone Cold-esque run to where she can have so many good feuds that if she's put back in the title picture again, it'll be well earned. Or kind of like, we've seen her with the title for a while. We know what she's like. Let's see her like what Finn Balor is on NXT. Finn Balor's there just to fight. Let's have Becky there just to fight. And I want Becky to win because I kind of like the storyline implications more to make Shayna Baszler even that more dangerous. Because the way she lost her first NXT title was by pinfall to Kairi Sane. And guess what happens? She came back more vicious and got it back. I would like to see that with Becky.
Okay, now let me interject and ask you a question here, though. I'm going to throw up something to that. You keep bringing up 35, how she pinned Ronda. Her shoulders weren't down, so that shouldn't. But hear me out. Hold on. But now hear me out. If she does do that to Shayna, doesn't that destroy everything that they built up for Shayna in the chamber? Because she is the only person that ran the gauntlet through the chamber. She literally came in and took everybody out. Single-handedly took everybody out. If they have Becky come in and do that to her, doesn't that just kind of crumble everything they did already?
No, if they handle it right. I don't mean like Becky does a move on Shayna and then Shayna's down for the count. I mean like a quick surprise roll. Let's say Shayna goes for the rear naked choke. Becky can do pretty much like what Kairi Sane did to her at NXT. Roll out of it, have Shayna's shoulders down while she still got the hook clutched in, and she loses that way. Because that's exactly how Triple H booked Shayna to lose her first title. And I can see the same thing booked here. But this time it's with Becky because Becky shows that she did her homework on Shayna. And just like when they first had their first face-to-face going to Survivor Series, Becky said to Shayna she's not going to take her lightly, but at the same time, she's not going to be intimidated by her. And also, go ahead.
Who won that Survivor Series match, though?
Shayna. But she beat Bayley, not Becky.
And then when Becky was holding up the belts, who got laid on her back? Becky. See,
no, and then Becky laid her on her back.
But what I'm getting at is they've been building this feud to Shayna taking the title. But that's okay. I appreciate your opinion.
Yeah, it's different. Don't worry, man. Yeah.
It's different than mine, but that's all good. We can discuss how Matty G was right next week.
No problem. If Shayna wins, no problem. I just want to have a scenario where we can still have Becky still leave, because what you're saying, she's going on vacation time. What better way than to have Shayna literally take her out in a sort of I quit or submission style match?
That's a good point.
We can have Becky gone for the majority of the year, and Shayna could be the one to say, I took out the longest reigning women's champion. I put her on the shelf, making her that much of a badass to where you have to start building up more competitors. If Rhea Ripley, if you want her to be on Raw, what better way to have that?
But then again, though, there's no foreseeable pay-per-view after Mania. They've already canceled something we weren't going to talk about yet. They canceled Money in the Bank. That has been canceled and postponed to they don't know when. So they basically Mania is their only shot to do this. But Jacob does bring up a good point, though. She did bite her to bleeding.
Did you guys think that was real low? Because that looked really fake.
Of course.
No, absolutely fake. You could see when she took her mouthpiece out, you could actually see her adjusting the blood capsule.
That I've seen people get bit in the back of the neck and they don't bleed out that fast.
No, I have. And it's not that bad.
No, you don't bleed like that. But Jacob does bring up a good point, though. They could have somebody bleed because of that. I will give you that. Now we're coming up to some of the matches that I am so excited about. This is the last man standing match.
Yes.
Randy Orton versus the Rated R Superstar. Obviously, you can tell who I'm going to pick. That would be the Rated R Superstar himself. I screamed. I actually had a bunch of people over during the Royal Rumble. We had it on our big TV. We had lots of beer. The kids were out playing. We had food on the grill. I screamed like a little bitch when Edge came out. I almost cried. If he had cried when he came out, I probably would have been in tears myself. I love this storyline. We all know that Randy Orton's gentle. but I think they really dropped the ball if Edge doesn't win this match. I don't care.
Randy will retire?
No, I think honestly that this could be a feud continued down the road or come back to it another time. I don't give a shit who goes next.
I mean, Grant. He's Grant. I think he's Grant's favorite superstar, from what I know. So, I think so. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, every year at when they do the Royal Rumble, and it comes out, there's that split second where I think I hear you think you know me. I'm like, oh my god, it's going to happen this year, and it doesn't, and then when they brought back Beth Phoenix and that, and I didn't see him in the crowd this time. I'm like, maybe it's this year, and then it happened, and I got all excited, and seeing him and Orton unite on bloody Raw the night afterwards, and then him, attacking him. I mean, they're individually two of my favorite wrestlers. Their team, not so much, but I think this is going to build up into a bit of a feud. And what's going to happen is Edge will win, and something will happen down the line, and Randy will come in and save Edge, and then it'll bring them back to it. I think this will be I think this is going to be the start of them rekindling it. Edge is going to get his one back over him, and that'll snap Randy out of it.
To answer your question, Jacob, no. Edge will be continuing. He is not going to end his career.
I heard he signed a contract.
He's got a
3-year contract.
And what he means on his term, no. Edge has a 3-year contract, a 3-year performance contract. He is healthy. He is medically cleared. Edge will be around for a long time.
I mean, we're like, when you think about it, did anybody really think he'd ever come back? Because that was like,
no.
You see, when you have and I've learned from this because of my back, when I was wrestling, when you have a serious injury and you are forced to retire, it is one of the hardest things, as a wrestler or whatever you do in a sport, because I did it with football too, it is one of the hardest things to do because you are basically told that no. And nobody wants to be told no. So to see that this is kind of actually happening it feels like a fairy tale dream to me. And it might take the match of the night. I'll just say it now. I got Edge winning. This is what I mean. I'm also excited for one of my other favorite competitors coming up. We're talking about soon. My twin, I would say, but it's Edge and Randy Orton. I never saw this happening. So to see this and to see possibly Edge facing my boy Roman Reigns maybe next year or whatever happens down the line, because I think it will happen eventually. This is what WrestleMania is about. These matches you never think. So yeah, I got Edge winning, but some of the best promos I've seen this year involve Randy Orton and Edge. When I saw that, I literally thought it looked real. It looked real, and they really have done a great job with these promos. And not just that, with Undertaker, we'll talk about, and Cena and Fiend. Some of these promos have been fantastic. And for me, Edge takes the cake, and Randy Orton does for WrestleMania promos, because those are some of the best I've seen in a long time. So I got Edge winning.
Yeah. Ryan, close us out.
Yeah, I'm completing this sweep here. Edge, without a doubt.
It's gonna be close, I think. But
yeah, I think it's gonna be close too. There's gonna be no definite ultimate move and then someone stands up. No, I think some smarts are gonna be in. I think some smart tactics are gonna be employed here. Either Randy throws something on top of Edge, or Edge duct tapes or handcuffs Randy's feet to something to prevent him to get up. I mean, I'm expecting to see a good fight here. And yeah, when I heard Edge's "You Think You Know Me" music, I thought, that is bull. And then all of a sudden, I see him run up from that bullpen. I'm going, God damn it, they did it. And then I spent the next 3 days watching people's reactions to Edge returning, from crowd reactions. Yeah. And the funny thing was, one of the people who did those reactions, I met this dude when I was on the Chris Jericho cruise. So seeing the fact that he was there, and then I immediately messaged him afterward. I'm like, dude, that is fucking awesome. I was incredibly jealous he got to experience that. And so
I was crying. That's how emotional it was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And-
no, it was
fantastic.
great.
Awesome. Even the Randy Orton's promo to Beth Phoenix was great. Like you see Randy Orton, he's the bad guy, but in his own way, he's justifying it to where you can kind of understand it. Like you don't want to see Edge to get re-injured again or worse, paralyzed. So Randy Orton doing something like that feels like he justified his own actions. And I like how going in, you know it's going to be incredibly personal, and these two men are going to be able to pull it off.
Yep. All right. So we're going
Can I
to
say one more thing about the Edge thing?
go ahead.
Go for it.
For those who for probably a lot of people who've grown up watching wrestling, obviously with John Cena, or for people like us four, for those who don't know Edge, there might be younger audiences. That was kind of like our moment. It was like 2008 for a lot of us. For me, it was like 08 and 07 in the Attitude Era, with The Rock, and obviously, but Edge was in there. Like if you talk about some moments with Edge, for a lot of us who have grown up with Edge and who love Edge, he's one of the greatest. And it's like, you think about the moments he had coming back from a really bad injury in 2010 to win the Rumble, or the ladder match where everybody talks about at WrestleMania 17. Like he has had so many memories. So for people like us who've grown up watching some of our favorite wrestling, back then, or even 2008, we'll obviously talk about somebody I love too coming up. It's so interesting to see something we never have, and that's what makes WrestleMania so amazing. And it's the fact that we get to see Edge again in a ring.
And I do want to add on to that, Chris, the fact that Edge returns, and also at the same time with wrestlers like WrestleMania 34 when Daniel Bryan was cleared to medically compete again, and with Edge coming back, it shows hope that with medical science, and even with DDP, with his DDPY, how he's able to help wrestlers who could not walk again, or who had trouble, who fell into addiction, like Scott Hall, Jake the Snake Roberts, just to name a few. The fact that we see something like this with health being able to help old wrestlers and wrestlers who were forced to retirement gives so much hope now, to where personally myself, I would love to see in the future Paige return to the wrestling ring. The fact that she had to end her career so early, and she herself there were so many, especially now with the women's revolution with Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte. We could truly see if Paige ever does make a return. We can now see the man going up against Paige. We can see the heel boss go up against Paige. Hell, even with NXT, one of my dream matches is one of the NXT people, Candice LeRae, who has been a big indies wrestler, like in California and around. I would love for her to be called up and have her go one-on-one against Paige. So something like that with Edge coming back, I want to see the same thing with Paige.
My kid would agree with you on that one. He is a huge fan of Candice LeRae. All right, gentlemen, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna do a little bit of a spoiler here. We are going to save the quote-unquote theoretical matches till last. So we're going to move on to the winner of the 2020 Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre, taking on the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar.
As Paul Heyman.
He really goes deep with that R. It's Brock Lesnar.
I have some people sleeping in my house, so I can't really.
I apologize. Raymond was wearing headphones too.
This is Drew's moment. He is going to, in my opinion, he's going to slay the Beast. He's going to hit him. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This is a hashtag spoiler. I couldn't help that one. I think Drew McIntyre is going to hit him with several Claymore kicks, and that's going to be that. Oh, Jacob brought up something interesting in the chat. Bianca Belair and Paige.
Yeah. That would be really good too. I'd like to see Rhea Ripley too.
Okay, anyways, back to Brock and Drew. I think Drew McIntyre, and I think he is going to have a long, and I repeat, long title reign. Chris.
That's the hope that he has a long reign.
I remember watching, and I keep saying this with nostalgia fact, watching Drew McIntyre and thinking, who the hell is this kid? And then NXT, he became my favorite NXT star from 2015 to now. And when I was watching the Rumble, part of me was thinking, okay, they might just give it to Roman Reigns, obviously, and that, he's a cousin, obviously, favoritism. But when I saw Drew McIntyre, and literally there was, my ex-fiance, who I'm really close with as friends now, is a massive Drew McIntyre. And she's watching it with me. We got 3 little kids in the same bed sleeping. She screamed so loud because it's like it actually happened. Because for me, before Seth Rollins, I felt like sometimes WWE likes to fuck with us. Because when you want somebody so special like Drew McIntyre, to finally get his moment, who he's been working on, I don't know how long he's been in this industry, like 15 years. The same as Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura. And, to see this, and also conspiracy theory, I know there's going to be a lot. I think this is Brock Lesnar's last match. I mean, I might be wrong, but there's a good shot that it might be Brock's last match because I feel like Drew is kind of the best known to be the guy who is kind of like the Brock Lesnar, because I've always kind of considered him like Brock Lesnar. So I mean, it's going to be a really good match, and I think Brock Lesnar is going to give him like fucking like 10 F5s, and he's just going to get up and Claymore kick him. But yeah, I got Drew winning, and I see Grant over there shaking his head at me.
Okay, Grant, what are you thinking?
I do think they're going to give it to Drew, but Lesnar's already stated that he's going to be held up at his ranch for at least 6 months after this. So whether that means that he wins and they don't do any pay-per-views because he's not going to defend the title on bloody Raw or SmackDown or anything like that. Because he's like Andre the Giant. You can't bring him out all the time because he just demolishes. I would rather see Lesnar win because at least I think he's got a presence about him. Like, I just find Drew he looks like the starting character on any wrestling game. That's the problem with it. He's just so generic. There's nothing really unique about it. He's tall. He can kick. That's about it. I mean, when he threw Lesnar over at the Rumble, I'm like, oh God, he's gonna win. Oh, fuck. And then it was just like, I literally could have picked anyone else but him because I find him like a very, very vanilla. But yeah, he's gonna win.
Ryan?
Well, it wouldn't shock me if they do to Drew McIntyre what WWE did to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 34 and have Brock Lesnar win. But
Drew McIntyre,
But Drew McIntyre, he did a turnaround. Like the first time he left the damn company was going back in the British independent ring, then showing up on Impact. You're seeing his true charisma show out. Like you're seeing him really reinvent himself. To an NXT, I thought he deserved a longer title reign, but you know what happens when you get hurt, you gotta leave. But when he came back and he was paired with Dolph Ziggler, I thought, okay, 1 year, 6 months, and then no break off. No, they kept him for a while on Raw. He kept being the muscle to either Dolph Ziggler or he was the muscle to Shane McMahon. You kept wondering, when the hell are they finally just going to let this guy be himself? And then all of a sudden, he does the weirdest thing. He gets over counting down from 3, 2, 1 to a Claymore kick. If any other wrestler could do that, you'd have maybe like a couple people in the audience, like the Smarks, go with it. But the fact I'm able to hear like a huge echo from the back, count down 3, 2, 1, tells me that this guy they should give him a championship win.
He is absolutely over. And I think for him, that's probably the best thing they could have done is given him a face turn.
He earned it. If I remember correctly, we don't know when he actually does turn face or heel. He was a heel going into 2020, and then all of a sudden he starts showing his personality, and you don't know exactly when he turns. So the fact
he just straight up walked out there and was face, and it was great. And I don't know when they decided it, but I'm gonna give credit to Paul Heyman because he's the show. It worked. the face turn worked. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into the Universal Championship.
It's been
Dave,
confirmed it is Braun Strowman, by the way.
and, here's a hashtag spoiler for SmackDown if you haven't seen it yet.
I just watched it while we were talking, so I was kind of looking back and forth.
So it is Goldberg with the Blue Universal title, which I bet now WWE is kicking themselves in the ass for putting it on him because it was supposed to be Spear versus Spear. But now that can't happen. So we have Braun Strowman versus Goldberg at Mania. Day 1 or 2, don't know. I think Braun takes the title.
About damn time, man.
But I don't think he's going to hold it long. I think it is just a spot filler because Goldberg is disappearing like usual. So they're going to give it to him. And then eventually down the road, we will have Braun take on Roman probably. Or it could be Braun versus Fiend again. But I don't want to see that. I don't want the belt back on the Fiend. He is better without it. But I have Braun taking it. Ryan?
I really don't think Goldberg's going to keep that belt, honestly. I mean, it should have been smarter to keep the belt on the Fiend, but it was clear Creative had no idea what they were doing. It looks like they have no idea what they're doing now. So, yeah, I think Braun just gets it by default.
Yep. I still think Roman will end up with it down the line. Just once this pandemic comes over. Grant?
Initially, I was going Braun because Goldberg has 2 movies and a TV series, but they've all been canned as of beginning of February, and I'm not too sure how far back they write the storyline. So, being an old school WCW guy, I'm going to go for the guy that is the least talented wrestler but has the flashiest moves. So I'm going Goldberg.
I just don't think Goldberg could get. I don't think Goldberg could get Braun up for the jackhammer. I mean, he had trouble getting Bray Wyatt up.
Yeah, trouble with Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. It's clear he needs men that are more within a slender figure, so then he can be able to at least hold him for 2 seconds and then drop him.
Yeah, because that wasn't a jackhammer. That was a glorified body slam. But I have a theory though.
He'll probably put him up against the ropes. He'll probably do what he does with like what he did with Kevin Nash. Put him up against, put him up on the rope, and then
I don't think it's going to be a long match either. I think it'll go maybe 3 or 4 minutes. I don't think it'll be long.
I think it would be like the Goldberg Brock Lesnar match from 33. I think it'll go that limit.
Probably. All right. So
longer than Kingston's one.
I think it'll come out. I think he'll get these hands maybe. I want to know how much Goldberg's going to sell Braun, because we all know Goldberg doesn't really sell anything except for himself. So let's get into the fun theoretical matches, which in my opinion are good.
I didn't give this in mind, but I guess everyone knows.
So we're going to start with the Boneyard match because we don't know what the fuck a Boneyard match is. There's been no rules for it released as of yet that I've seen. I think it's basically a buried alive match, more or less. I think Styles wins.
Really?
I think Styles is going to be put over by the Undertaker. Just like Kurt Angle did for Baron Corbin last year. That's my opinion. Grant?
Styles win. They're using Undertaker now at Mania is basically just a platform for boosting other people. The fact of the matter is that he's retired and unretired 50 million times. His swan song is it's never going to be at Mania. And also when they do give him big spots at Mania, he's had some of the worst matches in the last few years at Mania, like just his technique and everything. So I just they're gonna boost Styles up. I actually think it's gonna be like a Buried Alive, except they're literally gonna have like a dump truck filled with bones, and you've got to bury them in these foam bones or something. It'll be something so cheesy we'll never see it again. It's just a dumb Just go make it a hardcore match, buried alive, something like that. But
I don't know.
boneyard,
With
what
the
the hell's a
fact
boneyard?
exactly. I think with the production value, though, I think it's going to be really cool. I think it'll look really cool. It may be cheesy as hell, but I think it's going to look cool. Ryan, who you got?
I'm going with AJ too. I mean, as much as I dig the promo that the Undertaker did dissing AJ on the way Michelle did AJ's finisher better than AJ did. It was funny.
That was funny as hell.
But it was pretty clear from, after Saudi Arabia, he came in as the dead man, and then week by week on Raw, that started being chipped away again and again and again and again, to where it's clear that, what Grant said, Undertaker's there to elevate people or just to give those who are high on the card a match for Mania, like what happened with John Cena. So, but the difference is that I think the right person's going over in this one, and that is AJ Styles.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Day to hold on a second. We'll get to his in a second. You brought up something that interesting, Ryan. I'm gonna ask the table this, and we'll get Day's pick as well as his answer to this.
I didn't get to say what Braun Strowman one either.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
No, that's okay. It's good.
Okay, Braun Goldberg, real quick. Just.
And I will say this. I mean, it breaks my heart that my favorite guy in the world, one of my favorite guys in the world, won't get to do the match I really want to see, obviously, with Roman Reigns. But at the same time, it's like, and I understand, but like with leukemia and everything going on, I mean, we just wish the best. It's going to be Braun. I mean, it should have been Braun at No Mercy in 2016 was 16 or 17? 17.
17, yeah.
17. He should have won then. Like, it's just like, for me, it's long overdue, and I like to see it. Otherwise, besides that, what we talked about with Undertaker, AJ Styles, I hate this gimmick. He just looks like the American Badass meets a really bad, like, rip-off version.
It's funny that you said that because that goes back to my question. Is it going to be the Phenom, the Dead Man, or is it going to be the American Badass that comes out?
Well, it's clear that he's already instead of like in Pokemon terms evolving, he clearly de-evolved back into the American Badass, because even in that promo, he looked like he had the matching things, the bandana, looked like he had himself like a leather jacket, except the difference was it's more biker kind instead of the long, like, I don't know, funeral director kind that he normally does with his little dead man gimmick. It looks like to me, and the point of this Boneyard match, it does feel to me more of American Badass or like biker chain gang little gimmick there that he was doing.
See, I like I personally, I must have been the right age for it, but I kind of liked the American Badass.
I just
think it's a little too late for him now to do it.
He should have done it in WrestleMania 34.
Well, because, and you got to think about it, they did this on a closed set, so he could have very easily rolled up in a motorcycle or something like that. That's one of the exciting things about it. Grant, American Badass or Dead Man?
I think he's gonna go Badass because Dead Man's lost at Mania. I don't think the Badass has.
I don't think he has either, has he? I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So
his last match
might be their revitalization of him. But when you say Boneyard, that does sound like something more of Dead Man sort of stuff, Bones and like
American Badass. Yeah, his last match was, I think, against Triple H in one of the early WrestleMania. Before, because it was WrestleMania 20, he officially came back as the Dead Man.
Yeah, but James would have been 19.
And it wasn't until WrestleMania 21 with Randy Orton the streak became such a big thing. Until then, it was just Undertaker keeps racking up those wins.
So
yeah, WrestleMania 19 was the last time he was the American Badass.
But you're right though, he never lost as the Badass, so he could go back to that. All right, and then my opinion, the most exciting match, not because of the match itself, I think it is going to be the most exciting because I have no clue what this is going to be. This could be the wackiest, craziest, most fucked up thing we ever. And this is just me kind of throwing a wild theory out there. I would love to see in this match see the Boogeyman sitting in the corner eating a worms watching this match. It is the Firefly Funhouse match between John Cena and The Fiend. The Fiend is going to destroy John Cena. I'm just going to leave it.
Can I start on this one?
Go ahead.
So, honestly, I think this is going to be the main event. My honest opinion. I mean, I think it will because I think this is John Cena's last match. No matter what you say about the rumors that have been going around, he is like huge now with Hollywood. And a lot of people, so the fact that, and the way he's been the past couple of years, obviously seeing the Doctor of Thugonomics with Elias last year, and then Taker and John Cena at Mania, I think this is the end. And the fact that he's beat him at 30, which is probably one of Cena's best matches in recent years, was that Legacy with 30. The Legacy match, and I love John Cena. That's, he's easily one of my favorites. No matter what you say about John Cena, controversial wise, and my twin. But, I've watched the massive, John Cena rising from when I started watching around the 2008, and some of the best moments I've had with John Cena. But I will say this, I love The Fiend. I think The Fiend gimmick is one of the best gimmicks I've seen in a while. It's so weird and it's so interesting. And this match is going to be fucking like acid straight on hell. Like, if you've been drinking and you're high as fuck as acid, you're going to probably have a fucking epilepsy after this shit because this shit's going to be fucking, it's going to be off the fucking walls. And I think it will be because I think it's, what's up? I don't know. I'm kind of speaking out my ass. But honestly, though, I think this is the end of John Cena. I think if it was a crowd match, it'd probably be a standing ovation because this guy is literally one of the greatest of all time. So, and he will go down in that. And don't get me wrong, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame, I think, in the next 2 years if he retires tomorrow night or Sunday. I think it will be the main event. So I got Cena. I got Cena losing because I think Fiend's going to win. And Fiend's going to be the new Cena. Well, I mean, it's kind of already Roman, but it's kind of like, in my opinion, what I loved about The Rock and Hogan was basically it was handing over, which it's been 18 years now. And to me, that's what Cena and Fiend is going to be. It's going to be basically handing over the reins because I think Bray Wyatt has kind of now, with this Fiend character, kind of made it his own, and he's kind of now rising more than he did with the regular Bray Wyatt family show.
Which I think we'll see that Bray Wyatt in this match too. I think we will see Wyatt family Bray Wyatt as well. Yeah. I think we're going to see three faces of Bray Wyatt. We'll see the family. Then we'll see the Mr. Rogers Funhouse Bray Wyatt, and then we'll see the Fiend. And I could see them switching characters throughout the match, not just the Fiend's going to take him out and then so forth and so on. I think they'll be switching back and forth. And this could be the way to reveal if they are going to have a female playing Sister Abigail. This could be the way to do the reveal.
Do you think this is
hold on. This Firefly Funhouse match, as much as I like those ideas, that also leads me to a lot of worry. Because it can either be a pre-recorded segment of a match to where most of it's taking place in the Firefly Funhouse, and then they'll do where they're fighting along the ring like they did with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt for the House of Horrors match.
No. Time out. They said this whole thing was filmed on location with multiple stages away from a ring. There is no ring. This is a straight up House of Horrors, no ring. Like this.
Okay. I think it's a personality handicap match, essentially. I think it's gonna have to defeat all three versions of him to win. It's gonna be in multiple rooms with flimsy walls. They're gonna be throwing each other through the walls. You're gonna have rooms that are gonna be pretty much pitch black, with strobe lights and that sort of stuff, and that'll play more into the Fiend sort of stuff.
I think they're going to jump back and forth between characters, but I think it'll be the Fiend choking out Cena. I think he'll choke him out into his sister Abigail, and that'll be that.
Yeah, this has a lot of potential to be one of the most creative things they've done on WWE. There's just the stupid goddamn elephant, Vince. Don't know what the fuck what creative component he's gonna put in this.
Triple H.
Do you guys really think this is Cena's last match, or do you think Cena will come back?
I think he will show up again, but kind of like how retired wrestlers would show up, just for the pop.
I think he'll show up again one more time.
Match, technically, as a wrestler.
No. To answer your question, no. I think he'll be back next year due to the fact that Fast and Furious 9 comes out next year, and
he's got two more films that he's supposed to be doing in the next 18 months. One of them has been cancelled indefinitely. The other one, they're waiting to see what happens. And that was the one that was supposed to be the beginning in filming in May.
Yeah, I think it's the one with Jackie Chan.
Mm-hmm. So I think he'll be back for at least one more. And it's rumored that this match could take up most of night 2.
Yeah,
this match itself could. Well, no, I heard somewhere. I don't remember where it was. I only follow a handful of wrestling news shows where they said that this was filmed and it could take most of night 2. And John Cena is going along with every idea Bray Wyatt has. This has been basically Bray Wyatt, John Cena, and Triple H putting it together. Vince McMahon has stepped back, said, "You guys go ahead."
Let's hope.
Well, no, I know somebody who knows somebody, and they've officially said that basically most of this, Vince McMahon's hands have been off. It's been basically Triple H. So
I think my theory would work. It'd be the winner of 3 matches, best of 3 between them. They'll start off with him versus one version of it in the Funhouse. Then another match will happen. Then it'll cut back to that one. He's a different personality. They go again.
I think it's possible, but you
don't want to have a freaking hour and a half match between 2 people.
Yeah.
Right, but I still think, however it cuts down, the Fiend will win. Bray Wyatt will win this match. This is his makeup for them screwing him at WrestleMania 33.
Yeah, I think only purely because Cena was supposed to be beginning filming next month.
Mm-hmm.
So
are we all in agreement that the Fiend wins this match?
Do you think it'll be the main event?
I don't think it'll be the main event.
I think it'll be in the main event of one of the 2 nights. I think it'll be because it's going to be so long and so.
It's going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt. But I think it'll be
it'll be the same way that they did the what was that shit with Matt Hardy? I forget the name of it. Mega shit.
Yeah. Basically, what I see this as is this. The way they're structuring this WrestleMania is like the way New Japan structures Wrestle Kingdom, where you've got each night has their own main event, and one's not bigger. One's officially bigger than the other, but they're both. They still have their own. I see this closing out one of the 2 nights, probably Sunday, just because it's going to happen. I think we'll see probably Drew and Brock close out night 1. So he'll get, his, we'll get the moment of Drew standing on the ring pointing at the WrestleMania sign. We may not get fireworks everywhere, but you know what I mean. He'll get his moment in the sun. Night 2, I think it'll be the Firefly Funhouse match will close out the show.
Well, all right, now,
championship match, though, do you think will be the first and second night? Because I think the men's will be switched one night, and I do think the second.
I think it could be. I think the WWE title and probably the SmackDown 5-way will be Saturday, and then Sunday will be Becky and Shayna, and
Becky
then
and Shayna are gonna be near the end regardless because that match. There's just a lot. That's one of the matches that people are clamoring to watch, and honestly, it feels like more of a later, like a bigger fight match compared to the 5-way or to Charlotte and Rhea. Honestly,
yeah, and then I think it'll be I think Becky and Shayna will be the second to last match, and then the final match of WrestleMania will be the Firefly Funhouse match.
well, no, I don't want to put money on how the match order is because, to be honest, I might lose that.
I'll be right back again.
That's just my guess. I think they're going to put that like that because they're pushing the Fiend. They know they screwed up now that when this virus happened and Goldberg doesn't have the match that they were intending to have. I think that they've realized that they screwed up with that, and now they're going to make it up to Bray Wyatt because the Fiend is probably, in my opinion, the most over character in wrestling, period. I'm not saying partially, I'm saying period.
I think there is an opportunity with the Fiend. I having him beat John Cena and the fact that we're still doing there's still going to be a lot of empty arena shows. It's clear WWE, they're not going to hold anything. Having Bray Wyatt maybe on a reign of terror after he beats John Cena would work because we would get more promos like what Bray Wyatt did on their on his first confrontation with John Cena. And also, there would be more time for the Firefly Funhouse bits now. It won't feel rushed or anything. There's actually I think there'll be more time to delve into those little skits. So then they'll come out to where the first 9 was leading up to SummerSlam. Very eerie and creepy. Not more of the Mr. Rogers laid back, toned down like we were getting after SummerSlam.
I like those. See, I like the many faces.
But I don't mind some more creepy like vibes added to him. I know Bray can do well, except that it was clear after because if you look at the first 9 or the first 6 of the Firefly Funhouse, and then you look at the ones later, the production value is completely different.
Well, I think it's a different part of the Funhouse personally, but that's just me. So we're all in agreement. One last thing before we cut off. We've been going over an hour and a half. Does anybody make a special return?
Let me see.
I think we could see the return of Ronda Rousey.
I would love to see that, especially if Shayna wins.
I really think she's done. I think Ronda is done.
No, Ronda's already come out and said that she plans on returning and returning soon. She actually.
I think it's going to happen at Mania, though. That's me.
Well, they were. I mean, people were kind of confused when they saw Cain Velasquez and Ronda Rousey at WWE headquarters. So,
and that was recently.
Yeah, it was 2 months ago. Don't be surprised if Cain shows up after Mania. Like if he shows up maybe the night after or 2 weeks after. Don't be surprised if Cain or Tyson Fury show up in the next couple of weeks because I think it will happen.
I think if Cain show up, I think WWE is going to try to make up for what they did to Cain because Cain, they focused so hard on his MMA background that it was clearly obvious. I've seen there are some footage of him wrestling. Like actual wrestling. And the fact that WWE so blindly looked at, oh, well, this man's mainly just MMA was huge like a terrible mismanagement and a huge oversight. So if King does come back, I don't mind seeing him like actually do a combination of both MMA and wrestling.
Well, don't forget, he was just having surgery. Grant, back out. We can't hear you.
Oh. Yeah. Oh wait.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, sorry. No, I think what they need to do is when he first started doing it, embrace the more luchador sort of style. He's quite a high flyer and everything, and it was quite surprising seeing him in that mask. I think he needs to lean heavily into that instead of just trying to go in there as essentially just a brawler.
Well, don't forget he was fixing to have some severe knee surgery too.
Well, that happened. That happened when he had his last fight. He got hit in the head so hard that his knee broke.
Yeah, so they were probably trying to work around that. That's why it was so quick.
But in between, like after that fight, he was doing his luchador high fly stuff.
So who knows? Maybe that's what they're working on behind the scenes, is getting him.
Him and Ray come out as tag team partners.
It could.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Ronda showed up for Shayna, and the four horsewomen show up because Shayna wins. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that happened.
Well, it would be if Shayna does win, it would be an excuse to call Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, honestly.
Yeah.
I still think that they're gonna call up Rhea. Charlotte's gonna go to NXT. Rhea's gonna come up to Raw, and then you could even bring Ronda back and just have the three of them just run through everyone.
Speaking of that, I do think NXT needs to bring up some people. I do, because there's a lot of good talent rising up, and I think it's time for, no matter what they do with, and if I'm WWE, if I'm them, push Velveteen Dream to be Adam Cole, because I think it's time for Adam Cole, and I think it's time for Tommaso, and I think it's time for Gargano and some other female stars.
Tommaso and Gargano have been adamant that they just don't want to be a part of main roster.
Yeah, they want to stay at NXT, which I'm okay with. Which personally I'm okay with, because they want to keep NXT as the third brand. You know, not the training brand, but the third brand.
I think it's brand as well. But also,
I'd like to see Cole come. I don't want to see Undisputed Era come. I want to see Cole come.
I would like to see just Cole, yeah. I think it's his kind of time. I think it's time to put Velveteen Dream as NXT champion. I do.
Which I think they're leaning towards that, but we can get to that once NXT gets back to rolling again. They've got a couple of pre-tapes. I think WWE, after they run out what they've got filmed, I think they're going to go on a hiatus anyways. So I don't really think that's a problem. So gents, I hate to leave the city, but unfortunately my bladder says it's time to call it a night. So we're gonna go around the circle real quick. Chris, Mr. Day, where can people find you online?
Well, you can find me facing against the champ tomorrow, and Titan Mania is the Titan Mania Championship. We got some really great stuff coming in tomorrow for this. It will be up at 8 o'clock Eastern, so look forward to that. Ryan, just be ready, my friend. There's a side of me you haven't seen yet, and it's coming tomorrow. But it's been great, and I hope
you're gonna see the back of his head. Is it shiny?
Just wait. There's gonna be a promo tonight too.
Polishes the whole damn thing.
If you take a black marker down the back of Day's head, it looked like a butt. Sorry, couldn't help that one. Ryan, you are the champ at Titan Trivia, as we found out. Where can people find you online?
Well, other than tomorrow, me retaining my championship against the People's Champ, people can also check me out on Writer's Ring with Travis Ryan Schaefer for a couple weeks. We have been doing fantasy booking on how we would like to book Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania, and we just did this change of format to where in the beginning we were going to stay slightly a little close, like be little parallel to the WWE booking style. We decided to change that and completely make it our own. So we decided we're changing lineups. We're changing how the pay-per-view schedule goes. But hopefully next week another Writers Ring will come up, and you'll see us book week 4 of Raw and SmackDown on our way to, let's say, the road to Money in the Bank. Even though we know for reals it's been canceled, but in our world it's still on.
Alrighty, Comic Book Lad. Or should I say Mr. Game Zone Champ, where can people find you online?
Well, you can also add Movie Champ to that too, don't forget. So,
Ooh.
and pretty soon, I'm assuming it's going to be TV Champion as well. And then the wrestling one, and then I'm just going to give up all the belts. No. You can find me anywhere where there's good discussions on. I'm either watching or being a part of them. So, it's nice and fun to be here. I'm not as big into wrestling as I was before. But yeah, no, it's always great talking to my friends.
Alrighty.
Can I say one thing?
And Chris.
Hey, hi. Grant and Matt are tag teaming it for people who do not know in the tag team match at Mania. But I haven't said this yet. The winner of whatever happens, either tomorrow, if I lose, it will be a triple threat. If I win, it's a fatal four-way. The winner of that will be facing Grant Gregory July 31st at our kind of summer pay-per-view called War Games.
But
so
that's winter for me.
yeah, but and Grant's going to come for all those belts. So I just want to let you guys know that that's the plan. And he's been itching for it to come back for that, because for those who don't know, Grant's won a lot of movie titles. So that's all I have to say on that.
All right.
Yeah, but leading up to that, don't forget at Mania coming up, he's still got to go through his teammate me for that inner geekdom belt. But yes, you heard it right here and now. Grant and I will be the tag team champions over there. But back to me, you can find me here at TMG hosting our weekly Suplex City chats. Next week we will be back on Thursday because we'll be getting back to normal. Tomorrow night, right here on TMG, we're having TMG After Dark Takeover. That's right. What that basically means is we are going to have a special guest come over and they are going to run the show. This week, it is the Switchblade herself. If you don't know who that is Rachel Silvestrini. She will be taking over. The Den is taking over this week and next week. You'll have to tune in tomorrow to find out who will be taking over next week. Or just keep coming back because we have somebody taking over every week in April. You can also find me as the GameStone Commissioner here at TMG. But yeah, so the Comic Book Glad and I win titles. They're one of us will be holding the Geekdom title as well that weekend. For us here at TMG, the Heart of Debate, we will see you guys next week.